welcome to the Artist Behind the Music Canadian Country Series. Today we have the band Renegade Station from Alberta joining me. Thanks guys so much for hanging out and chit-chatting and playing some tunes tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, so I just am so excited to hear more about your journey in music and how you guys all connected as a band and decided to make wonderful, magical music together. So what's the backstory? How did you guys all meet and how did you come together to make your music?
Go for it, Louie.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to raise hands.
Yeah, I'll take that. We've been playing together for a long time. We had seen each other in town here in Stettler, performing at different things. And then we all became the backup musicians for a local show, and there'd be artists that would sing every year, and we were the band. And after doing that for a few years, we just felt the connection, and we had really great chemistry between us, and we worked really hard every year. For about 8 weeks, we would learn 40 songs and perform them and back up these artists. And so after a few years of doing that, we said, we've got some good stuff going on here. Maybe we should form a band.
Take the show on the road.
Yeah, let's take the show on the road. So we got booked for a couple small shows right around Stettler. We played the Denelda Rodeo, and the rest, as they say, is history. That's how we all met, by being the backup band. And yeah.
Oh, that's a cool story. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So,
and then
that's how we began.
That's the beginning stages. And how did you guys pick a band name? I'm always curious about this when bands have these super unique original names or go through shifts and changes with names. How did you guys go through your name battle?
This is our third name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Nixie.
Damned If I Know was our very first name.
That was your first band name?
That was the first name, was Damned If I Know.
And how did you
we
pick that
thought we thought that was really clever, and it was just hard to get bookings.
Right.
And then several years later, when we came up with Domino, and we were Domino for a long time, and actually that's when we started having the most success. Was under that kind of a banner, but there came a point, I guess, when we were kind of misrepresented. People thought that we were a mom and pop band, like a family band kind of thing. And we've got some family, but we're not necessarily G-rated like that. We're especially Lou and Russ. I mean,
yeah, that's right.
They're freaks. So when it came time to come up with a new name, we'd mulled it over for months, a year, in fact, as to what it would be and what would represent us the most and the best. Renegade Station is kind of what we wound up with. We're really proud of it. I mean, it goes back to our roots in Stettler. Of course, we've got a steam train there, and like most musicians, we're maybe not entirely normal. We're
yourself.
Well, hey, you guys are freaks. I mean,
Scotty, help us out here.
I'm gonna agree with you full force.
So by the time we were finished with it, we found something that was very representative of us and something we can be proud of, and we're very proud to be Renegade Station from Stettler, Alberta.
Cool, I love it. How did you find the transition between names? Like, did you feel like every time you changed your name, you had to kind of start again, or did you feel like you had enough of a following that it was kind of like the Dixie Chicks going to the Chicks, or?
Well, that was for sure. Kent he struggled with it the most. He really didn't like we talked about it for 3 years, changing our name, because Domino was just so generic, and it didn't represent us. So the first time it was okay. We took an ad out in the paper, and because we didn't have the following at that point. But when we went from that to Renegade Station, we did. And so we had to plan it. We had to be strategic about it. And the thing that we realized was that, you know, we'd worked so hard to get to where we were, that if we included our fans in the process, they would help us get the word out. And we announced the name change at CCMA week in, was it Hamilton or?
I think it was.
London, maybe?
Hamilton, I think.
It was in Saskatchewan.
London, I think.
London?
Okay, it was somewhere.
It was the CCMA weekend.
Somewhere out east. Might have been Saskatoon.
I don't think it was first.
Here.
But it was really great timing because we could tell everybody that there, and it just like skyrocketed for us. It was such a good time to do it. You know, the rebranding was just what we needed to kind of
Jump.
to get that jump that we needed. And we said, you know, maybe we did have an attachment to our old name, but if anything was going to hinder us from success, why would we stand in that way? And you couldn't find us on the internet. Like if you Google Domino, you got pizza, right? Like you did not find us. So you type in Renegade Station, you're going to find it.
We're at the top, yeah.
We didn't want anything more to hinder us. So it's been really good. Really good.
Yeah, I like what you said. It's just, you know, if something's not working or if something doesn't feel good, don't stay attached to it because you're used to it. It's like, that's when we need to make shifts and changes so that we can grow. And that's when the best stuff happens, right? When we let go of what's not serving us and make space for, you know, all the cool things that came from that, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
Very cool. So let's talk about band dynamics. How do you guys work through struggles, work through challenges? Because I'm sure not every day is all, you know, laughter and peace. Maybe it is. I don't know.
But of course it is.
In my world.
Yeah.
Well, we do some strategic spacing on stage. We have to keep the married couple apart.
Yeah.
True. It's true.
Social distancing from
Yeah.
way back.
Yeah.
It doesn't always help. They find each other on the stage.
We find pockets. Yeah. That's the only time I argue actually is when music is involved. If you ask our kids, they're like, yeah, the biggest fight growing up was, it's not a B flat, it's an E flat. Can't you hear that? You're so deaf. God.
Oh, that's funny.
Hasn't changed much.
No.
Well, you guys are sitting together now and no challenge yet. We've still got some time to go.
You know, we as a group though, for the most, like, we are so lucky as far as band dynamics go. We actually had a meeting last night and we just talk really well. We respect each other. We were very lucky because for the length of time we've been together, we've seen some of our friends' bands come and go and move on, and people don't even speak to each other anymore, you know. So I think part of it is we're like family too. So I don't know, we just have a lot of respect for each other. So for the most part, yeah.
Lou, you're like the older sister I never wanted.
Okay, that joke should die. This is how we get along. So.
Don't take things too seriously, right?
Yeah. If something needs to be talked about, we do have a lot of laughs. And if something really does need to get talked about, we sit down and talk about it, which is great.
That's a really important trait with any relationship, right? If there's something to be spoken about, let it out. Let it out.
Communicate. Yeah, that's right.
Totally.
Yeah. Or keep it bottled inside and don't tell anyone about it. That works.
That works.
It's working for you.
Right, Scotty?
Yeah.
Everyone else finds freedom. Freedom in the voice.
Yeah.
Just talk about everybody behind your back. It's a lot easier.
That works good.
Now that we know your secret. Secret's out. How do you guys songwrite together? Do you schedule sessions, or do you each kind of come up with pieces and then bring them to the table, or is it different every time?
You know, it's been different every time. We've got some collaborations where we've all sat down and done something. And then then we've got stuff, you know, Lou and I have written quite a few songs together. Lou is a very prolific writer. So she's written with tons of people around the country. But I didn't say good, I just said prolific. And Bazinga. And but it's funny when we bring a piece of music together, even when we're writing it and we go and play it for the first time, we know how Scotty's going to play the drums. We know what kind of a bass riff Lou is going to do in it, and it's so weird and cool all at the same time, is because when you bring a piece of music to the table, you play it through once on acoustic, the band joins in, and it's like we've been playing it forever. It's
cool.
Kind of eerie, actually.
That is cool. I think that kind of comes from playing together for so long, and just in the way you guys formed, it sounds so organic, right? Just you didn't start with the goal to be a band. It's just the band found you, almost, right?
That's
100%.
That's an awesome way to look at it. Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. That should be in our bio.
There you go.
Yeah.
Bio writer.
Awesome. That's your resume.
Yeah.
Noted interviewer Crystal McGrath remarked,
Yeah.
"You didn't find the band found you."
Yeah, I love that. That is so true, though. That is definitely true. It just happened, and yeah, that's very cool.
Cool. Do you have a favorite song that you guys have recorded and performed, or maybe one that's not been recorded yet? And you can answer if you want. It doesn't have to be collective.
Well, one of my favorites, and I almost hate to admit it, but it's one Kent wrote. But it's called Better Days, and he wrote it all on his own. And I don't know, I think Scotty, that's one of your favorites too, hey? It chokes me up every time I hear it, and it's on one of our older albums, and I adore that song, so I hate to admit it.
There's no sister connection right there.
Yeah. It's a beautiful song. It's about him and his son, and it's just poignant and touching. Yeah, it's probably one of my favorite originals. Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, that's kind of funny, Lou, because I was going to say the song you wrote about your dad.
Oh yeah,
is the one that gets me right in the feel goods.
Yeah, I have two that thank you. That one, it's called Words and Ways, and wrote it with Joni Delorier, and to begin with, it was really hard to get through it, but now I can, and wrote another one with Dwayne Steele this year, and it turned out being kind of another song about my dad too. So I lost my dad 3 years ago, so that's been a really good way to remember him and honor him. So thanks, Kent. Appreciate that.
Oh, well, don't let it go to your head.
Oh, I won't.
Isn't that so nice, though, how music just heals, and something that can seem so hard to get through, like when you first wrote it, maybe it was hard to sing through. Like, I know I have songs that I've created and I just cried for like 5 minutes as I wrote it, and then it was done. But then even there's moments on stage where you just feel that emotion take over your entire body. And I love that. As much as it's maybe hard to experience, there's just something so cool how music can take over your entire physicality and emotional state. And that transcends to the listeners, which is such a cool thing. I love music.
It's amazing. Yeah, I think that's why we do it, right? It's the universal language. It doesn't matter. It's how it makes us feel. It's incredible.
Yeah, like you can listen to a song in Italian or a language that you do not speak, and you can feel it just as much as you could if you could understand the words.
Absolutely. Yeah.
As long as the music's there.
Totally.
Yeah. What would you say is each of your favorite parts of being a musician?
Lou and Russ love the free drinks.
Jeez.
Do you have a driver?
Scotty.
I'm the driver.
You're the driver.
Scotty is the driver always.
Yeah.
No,
No, I think for me, Crystal, it's the interaction with the audience. I mean, after after not having an audience for so long and then actually playing a couple of live gigs, you realize how much you need it, how much you feel, feed off of it. For myself, recording isn't the big thing, but it's playing live and having people get into it and dig what you're doing. And that's it's a pretty good drug for this guy.
Yeah, for sure. Have you guys done many live streaming concerts over the whole 2020 COVID year?
A few.
And how did you find the difference between playing live and playing to a screen?
No comparison, really.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's night and day. I mean, you're playing to a microphone and a camera.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people out there on a live stream, but it was like we had a drive-in concert that we played at.
Yeah.
And we thought, this is going to be very strange to be playing. They're all in their vehicles.
Yeah.
But after the first song, everybody just started laying on the horns, and it was amazing.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
So it's
different. We definitely like having the audience. I mean, but it's been great to be able to interact and great to have this platform, right? Because I think all of us as musicians would be dead in the water, right? How do you stay alive? How do you stay relevant when you're, especially independent artists, and where we're at, where we have to really work to keep that engagement, to keep our fans happy, to keep it growing. And so thank God we have this type of interaction, right?
Mm-hmm.
But our first show, I think, was in August from March, and it was a small enough festival that they could still have it, and it was socially distanced and everything. And I tell you, we played a 45-minute set, and I don't know, we were all just so pumped. It was our first show. It just felt so good.
Drenched after that show. It was just, you get up there and
we laid it all out there.
We gave it 120%. It was just, it wasn't good, but it was 120%.
At the end of the day, that's all that matters. If you show up and you do what feels good for you in that moment, that's all the world needs, right?
Yeah.
I think we've talked about it. Part of what this year has done for us is it's really reiterated why we play music. And it's felt so good to get together and play and hear our harmonies and just sing together. And we kind of forgot about that for a little bit. It was always the next big thing. We're just always working and trying and then that just got stopped. So you had to go, okay, now what? Mm-hmm. And it brought it all back down to the love of music. So
I just got some. Yeah,
there's been some good things.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's kind of been like a reset button this past year. It's just like, okay, stop. You guys are doing too much. Let's breathe for a minute and just check in what really makes us happy, right? And what's here, not all out here all the time, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Adult world. Well, I would love to hear you guys play some tunes if you're ready.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever.
Louis, give her.
All right.
Give her.
So, Crystal, this is an original song that, do you want us to do one that we've written or one that's on our album? Doesn't matter.
I'm to do just whatever feels good. Whatever you want. Whatever you want to talk about, whatever you're feeling right now.
Okay. This is off of our last album. This is called Fall When You Fall. Better off trying to stop a moving train. Better off telling the sky not to rain. That's hard, don't work that way. You can't change what you can't change. It is what it is. It does what it does. You get what you get, so you give what you got. You dream what you dream. You want what you want. You fall and you fall and you fall in love.
can't unsay. With your head over heels, you can't stand up straight. You can't change time, you can't move fate. It is what it is, it does what it does. You get what you get, so you get what you got. You dream what you dream, you want what you want. You fall and you fall and you fall in love. Oh, you got no say, you got no control. You fall and you fall and you fall and you fall. You can make plans for love, don't care, it don't play by the rules, and it don't play fair. It's nothing skin like a new tattoo. You ain't running love, love's running you. It is what it is, it does what it does. You get what you get, so you get what you got. You dream what you dream, you want what you want. You fall and you fall and you fall in love. It is what it is, it does what it does. You get what you get, so you get what you got. You dream what you dream, you want what you want. You fall and you fall and you fall in love. You fall and you fall and you fall in love. You fall and you fall.
Woo! That's a great one. I love the line, like, you can't change, you can't change. That's just so fitting, I think, for the world kind of currently, right?
Totally. It's such a song about fate and what is going to happen, and you can't control it, right? So, yeah, it's a poignant song. It really is. So, yeah, it's lots we can't control right now in the world, that's for sure. So, you just got to make the best of it.
Totally. I'm always curious too, different tools that people use to kind of move through surrendering to what's happening. Do you guys have any tools or tricks that y'all like to use to kind of let things go and just be present and go with the flow?
Well, I've been starting to meditate, so that's new for me, which is really cool, and I love it. I also have a nightly bubble bath, so that
you do, yes.
That's a habit of mine. Take that time and just get away from it all. Even if we have rehearsal or whatever, I'm like, okay, you guys
gotta go.
Get out of the house.
Yeah. Yep. You guys?
She's not kidding.
Yeah, I
No,
know.
it's exactly how it is.
Yeah.
Get out.
Stand true to
Get
that.
out.
But
Anyone
you
else have
guys?
tools? Do you guys do anything?
I drank a lot and made fun of Luanne.
What? Never gets you through.
You stole my line.
Actually, you know what, Crystal? This last year, you know, when we had COVID and everything going on, I built a greenhouse and spent a ton of time out there.
Cool.
And absolutely loved it. And plus, I mean, I'm a hands-on kind of guy, so we actually built a covered patio in our backyard. It's all screened and everything.
Nice.
To keep the frickin' mosquitoes out because they were horrible this year.
They were really bad.
Yeah, and it was such a cool experience. My son Josh, my wife Anna, we had a bunch of friends and family come over and give us a hand with it. My dad came over and gave us a hand with it. It was a really cool experience to do, and at the end of it, we've got something that we can continue to use for years. So,
which is great. Yeah, I think spending time outside, especially in this past year, is just, you can do things like gardening and just nature outside. How can you make your space more functional outside if you have time for that? Then that's awesome.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
And you can drink beer doing it.
I was just gonna say that. I'm like, you know, do what you need to do to get through.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I like that thing. I have that on one of my walls.
Nice.
It is what it is.
Russ built a couple guitars this year. He got into.
Oh,
yeah. So he spent a lot of time doing that. So that's cool.
So
yeah,
I'm intrigued. How did you learn how to do that?
I didn't.
Oh, you did.
I just picked it up and figured I want to do it, so I did it. So
he's that kind of guy. He's like, oh, I'm going to do this, and he just teaches himself and does it. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like if I ever need some stuff done around my house, we can call you guys. That can be your time. I'll write the bio, you do the work.
Exactly. Lou and Russ did a bunch of renos at their place, and Scotty's house looks amazing.
Nice.
Lots of time to work on the yard this year, yeah.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
And building a museum. What do we got in the museum?
Oh, it's.
What do you got, Scott?
I got everything. We don't have enough time, probably.
That's the next episode.
Have you got a track of Benjamin Fitzgerald in there? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a whole another show, Crystal.
Next time.
Probably the whole history of our band is in there from
It
our
is,
first tickets to our first
I can see him up on the
concerts.
wall there, actually.
Yeah, all our CDs.
Really?
Yeah, there's all our CDs up there.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
And really, you can sell tickets to the Renegade Station
Museum.
Museum.
I'm doing it.
Museum.
I'm doing it.
Online though, it has to be virtual.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You can sell tickets
That's even
for
better.
showing. You don't have
Yeah.
to see in your house. There we go. All sorts of ideas on this night's episode.
Perfect.
And I see we have a new musical guest in the house.
Yes, we do. Josh is actually a better musician than I am, so had to bring in the big guns for this one.
What a treat. I'm
Don't sell
excited.
yourself, George.
That's awesome. Well, if you guys want to play for us now, then I would love to hear y'all.
So we didn't know what song we were going to pick. Josh came up and said, "Well, Dad, why don't you do Pickin' Buddy? Haven't done it in a while." So one of the very first songs that I wrote it for a friend of mine who ironically lived just a couple miles up the same road that I live on, and was kind of my guitar mentor. He's a bad bugger, but I sure miss him. And so yeah, this one is called Pickin' Buddy.
Nice.
He was old, his heart was young, and he showed us things that we never should have done. He was always in love, but never lucky. It's a sad, sad day when you lose Pickin' Buddy. We had Willie and Waylon and David Allen Cole. We'd sit around this old kitchen table listening to an old one-speaker radio with a Gretsch and a Fender. Man, we were lucky. We're playing country hits with my good old Pickin' Buddy. There's a bond that's shared by all. Worship is a gentlest fall. Transcends age and forms of family fun. Lion eyes, back home again. My farewell party, my best friend. all the lessons of a teacher through a song. There's a bond that's shared by all. We worship Vincent Chet Les Paul. Transcends age and forms of family fun. Lion eyes, back home again. My farewell party, my best friend. All the lessons of a teacher through a song. It's been 20 years now. You've been gone. And we all really miss you, man. We have to go on. He's up in heaven. Hell, they got the key. They're playing every day with my good old picking buddy. We miss you every day. Take it easy. Thank you, Butch, my picking buddy.
Oh, that was so good. I just want to cry, actually. Like,
Yeah.
like pretty
You
sure.
should have seen us when we recorded that song.
Yeah, we were a mess when we recorded that, I tell you.
Oh yeah, I was a blubber and suck calf. Like,
Oh,
totally.
everybody was.
But that's one of those things. I mean, when you play that song for people, and it hits them like that,
Yeah.
even though it's a sad message, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
as deep as I'm gonna get tonight, Crystal. Shallow hell the rest of the night.
Pull out and Doug. That was good.
I'm impressed, Crystal. You got in there tonight. That's awesome.
Okay.
Tell me about your feelings.
Yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Love it. Love it.
And my goodness, what a talented prodigy you have.
Oh well, thank you. Yeah, I'd like to say
like-
he learned everything from me, but I showed him a couple of things, and then the greatest guitar teachers in the world, Stevie Ray and you two.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, my goodness, it was really beautiful to see you. We got families left, right, and center here. And you started off saying you're not a family band.
Don't let it get out there.
Yeah, it came full circle. That was really beautiful. You guys pulled at all my emotions tonight. You got me laughing, crying, happy,
Awesome.
not mad.
We'll say. Yeah.
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah.
We're not done, are we?
So great. Well, I always love to end these episodes with the question, if you had one message to share with the world, what would it be? And you guys can all answer separately.
Go ahead, Scotty.
Be nice to each other.
Yeah. Good one.
Yep. Listen to each other. Just yeah, be good to each other. It's a small world, and everybody's got to live in it. So
Be kind.
yeah,
Yeah. Be kind.
that's universal.
It is.
Take time and have beer with people you love.
Even if it has to be virtually.
Even if it has
Exactly.
right, you just make the best and spend the time how you can. And it just seems like such a common message right now is just kindness. So kindness and having drinks. Be kind.
Yeah. It's our favorite thing to do. Be kind and have a Have
That's
drinks
right.
with
It's like
friends.
that easy, right? I mean, if we live
Yeah.
life
Yep.
like that, then things might be a little lighter, right? So
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I guess I should have planned mine. It doesn't need to be beer, but have a drink with somebody. Doesn't even need to be booze. It could be a
That's right.
coffee.
Well, cheers.
Coffee.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Awesome.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. Renegade Station on the artist behind the music. I can't wait to see what fun things you guys have coming up in the future. Until then, we'll keep in touch.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for having us.
Thanks, Crystal.